Good morning, everybody. It is your daily crypto news for Thursday, June 20th, 2024. My name is Matt. This is the news. Don't forget to check us out on Twitter and Substack, both at DCN Daily Crypto, and my email is matt@dailycryptonews.net. This is one of those rare times where we have follow-ups to yesterday's news. You know, sometimes the news outlets just like to put the news out there, not tell you what happens, not tell you the results, but today they did. So let's get into it. Yesterday, we were talking about the DJT token, and DJT obviously is for Donald J. Trump, and it was unverified that was the official token of the Trump campaign. Well, Zach XBT, obviously the sleuth that he is, decided to get down to it and said, let's figure out who's really behind this token. And he found out that it was pharma bro Martin Shkreli. And Martin Shkreli, as you know, gained the nickname Pharma Bro in 2015 when he, as the CEO of Turing Pharmaceuticals, dramatically increased price of life-saving drugs by 5,000%, basically pricing poor people out of these life-saving drugs and making a hell of a lot of profit off of them. Well, he also went to jail for 7 years for securities fraud, not because of the medication, but for something different. Anyway, in 2017, he went to jail, was released in 2022, and he's out stirring up things again. Well, Zach XBT traced the DJT token to him and got paid a $150,000 bounty from Arkham for doing so. After the fact, Martin Shkreli sent him a DM and said, hey, I did this token with Barron. And it appears that he's referring to Barron Trump, the youngest son of Donald Trump. However, there's no evidence that Barron is actually involved with this token. One thing we also know is that the Donald Trump campaign has nothing to do with the launch of DJT. Also yesterday, we spoke about Fetch AI, and a listener, Chris, DM'd me and said, hey, I want to put this on everybody's radar that this Fetch AI is doing a token merge. And what's happening is Fetch AI and Singularity and Ocean, they're collaborating to establish the Super Intelligence Alliance. And these tokens will be consolidated into a Universal AI Token, or ASI. And there's been some, I guess, finagling with this. The fact is that if you are on a centralized exchange and there's a merge, more than likely a centralized exchange will be able to do that for you. If you're holding, say, Fetch, or if you're holding something like Ocean Protocol's token, you can just keep it in your wallet, and in the back end or on the back end, either a Binance or a Coinbase will be able to swap those tokens for you, unlock your tokens, and say, here you go, continue trading, continue hodling, whatever you want to do. But Chris was seeing that there's a lot of different stories being told about how to do this. One was send your token to the wallet, and he said there's something shady about that. You want to make sure that you are very safe if you're holding Fetch and that you do not lose your tokens because of scams that are out there. So again, long story short, be careful. Make sure you're going through official channels. Make sure you're asking before you're sending tokens to any wallet and making sure that you understand exactly what's going on with this swap. The news today in the follow-up is that Fetch is on a tear. It is up 16.3% in 24 hours alone. But if you pull out, you'll see that it's down still 27% in the month. So even though it's going up, it doesn't mean that it's actually even close to where it was a month ago. But it should come as no surprise that these AI tokens are going to go up. As you know, NVIDIA has just become the world's most valuable company because they have pivoted into AI, and as well as Bitcoin miners are using their extra GPU power to help with AI processing. And we have another follow-up again. This one is with the Binance executives and the Nigerian government. And look, we've said this story many times, so I'm just going to really gloss over it. As you know, these two executives were in Nigeria. Nigeria was basically blaming crypto exchanges for their woes, their currency, their fiat currency woes, as people are trying to take Naira out of the country, convert it to different currencies, using exchanges and stable coins to do so. And they're basically holding these people saying, like, you're money laundering, because they were going broke because nobody wanted to hold the Naira, as basically the value was just dropping like a brick. These two executives were being held because of these different charges that were brought up against them. These two executives, Nadeem Anjawala and Tigran Gambaryan. Nadeem, he found a way to just get out of Nigeria, which was a whole other story. Dude, this whole case has been absolutely insane. Before Nadeem fled in March 22, he accused and he sued his jailers for human rights abuses. See, he was being held in a guest house, Then he was transferred to a jail. He was saying that he had human rights, and what about the due process? Nigeria is basically like, nah, we have our own due process here. You just gotta chill. And he's like, wait, I'm suing you for human rights abuses. Well, yesterday in a court in Abuja, they dismissed that lawsuit against the National Security Advisor and the Economic Financial Crimes Commission. Basically, the presiding judge issued the ruling because Andrew had no legal representation in court. So his lawyer didn't show up, and he's like, well, you can't sue without a lawyer, so yeah, we're just going to drop these charges. Now, why didn't he have a lawyer? Well, because this lawyer, Tony Kakrubo, he withdrew his representation because apparently Nadeem fled the country, which he did. Yes, he fled to Kenya. And in the lawyer's defense here, you're probably telling your client, like, hey, just chill. I'll take care of it. Just chill. And next thing you know, you see this guy running out the jail, fleeing to Kenya. And you're like, bro, I can't help you if you're not listening to me. Or this lawyer he knew was on the take, and he's just like, I'm never going to get a fair shake out of this guy, so I'm just going to take off. Long story short is his legal representation didn't show up in court. They said, well, you can't sue without legal representation, so we're just going to dismiss this. And so they're still sitting in jail, and now they don't have any lawsuit against their human rights abuses. Moving on to some new news. Australia's biggest equity exchange listed the first spot Bitcoin ETF, or exchange traded fund, yesterday. This is the Van Eck ETF, or the VBTC on their ticker, on the Australian Securities Exchange. Their ticker is ASX, and the ASX accounts for about 90% of the country's equity market. Well, at the close of the first day of trading, VBTC rose around 1% from its opening price to end the day at $20.06, or $13.40 US. They traded around 99,791 shares that day. Continuing in some new news, crypto exchange Kraken, they disclosed yesterday that they were taken for about $3 million, and this was because of a bug-related exploit that has since been fixed. See, Kraken received a bug bounty program alert on June 9th, and this is according to Kraken's chief security officer, Nick Percoco. The alert warned to an extreme critical bug, allowing an attacker to artificially inflate their balance on its platform. So while they're looking into it, they found the issue and discovered that this isolated bug allowed a malicious actor to initiate a deposit into his platform, receiving the funds into their account without fully completing the deposit. So basically signaling that it's going to deposit money. The funds then showed up in Kraken, and then they were able to take out the funds without actually transferring the funds over. The bug was completely fixed within hours, but there had already been exploits before that the bug was fixed. So they were alerted, the bug was fixed within hours, but apparently the actor was doing this malicious attack before Kraken was even notified of the bug, and they were able to take out around $3 million. Kraken, they were like, well, okay, cool. We have a bug. Thank you for letting us know. Thank you for, showing us this. And they requested a full account of their activities and for their funds to be returned. Well, the researchers, and this is going to be cool because the researchers, they're not naming the company, allegedly refused to return any of the funds until Kraken disclosed the potential size of the exploit and give them the bounty. They're saying like, hey, first, before we return the funds, you got to tell everybody that this was an exploit so we're all safer. Basically, and I agree with that. Like, hey, we're just not going to just swipe this under the rug. Tell everybody that this happened so you can continue to be very vigilant of your security and pay us the money. This is a bounty. Give us the bounty. Well, Kraken didn't like that. They're like, this is not white hat hacking. This is extortion. And Kraken, they accused the researchers of being unreasonable and unprofessional. And they said that they don't deserve to be named. Well, we all know who it is. Certec, they did this, and they identified the bug, and they're asking for Kraken for the bounty. And it's Kraken, it's a big company, but let's be honest. You have $3 million in your bank account by doing some work and exploiting the bug. Now, you probably could have took more. And you're like, hey, give us the bounty, we'll give you the money back. And they're like, nah, you give us the money back, we'll give you the bounty. And you're like, oh, wait a second. What would you do? Let me know, matt@dailycryptonews.net. Jump Crypto. They donated another $10 million to the United States' biggest crypto super PAC. And this is called the Fair Shake Super PAC. That takes the total that Jump Crypto donated to $15 million. Fair Shake Super PAC still has around $109 million cash on hand. And they've been going after people who are not good on crypto. One of those people were Katie Porter, who was running in the Senate primary in California. They ran all kinds of attack ads against her, and, well, she lost bigly. Now they're going against New York lawmaker Jamal Bowman. He voted against 3 pro-crypto bills in the past 30 days. And, well, $2 million are going on attack ads against him. Long story short is if you do not want money spent against you, maybe you support crypto. And finally, probably the most interesting news of the day, stablecoin issuers are now the 18th largest holder of U.S. debt. And this totals up to around $120 billion in U.S. Treasury notes. Now, 18th, that doesn't seem big. Again, $120 billion of United States debt is quite substantial, though. It sandwiches stablecoins right between South Korea and Saudi Arabia of holding debt. Who is the top Treasury note holder of United States debt? That would be Japan with almost $1.2 trillion. China is number 2 with around $800 billion. The UK is up there with about $700 billion. Luxembourg is after that, way down at around $375 billion. Now, all these prices are getting me hungry. Let's take a look at those crypto prices.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
And the time is 10:20 a.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time. Fear Greed is at 52. We are neutral. And Bitcoin is just not making me happy this morning. It was like at 66 when I woke up. Now it's at 64,676, down 1.2% in 1 hour, 0.4% in 24 hours, and 4.3% in 7. Not making me or any of us happy. Ethereum is number 2 at $3,497, down 0.8% in 24. Tether's number 3, Binance is at $593, down 0.2%. And Solana is number 5 at $133, down 2.2%. Just catching knives. I keep saying buy the dip on this one, but it just keeps dipping, and boy, that's starting to hurt. I know. Rounding off the top 10, we have USDC, XRP, Dogecoin, Toncoin, and Cardano. Total market cap, we are sitting at $2.36 trillion. We have a Bitcoin dominance of 54.2 and an ETH dominance of 18.2, and that was our show today. I hope everybody is having a great day. Sarah will be back tomorrow with Asia Focus and more daily crypto news, and I'll see you on Trends with Benefits. And until then, happy hodling, everyone.